All right, welcome to the Season 24 Scenario Show. Alongside my esteemed crew here tonight to break down what you might need for a first-round bye, the number one seed, home field advantage, or even just to make the playoffs and all the different matchups that we could potentially end up with. We have 16 scenarios with 4 games remaining. And we're here to break it all down tonight as quickly as possible, but as studious as possible. Let's get to our panel first. We've got the owner of the Los Angeles Lycans, Rochelle Colston, is here. What's up, Rochelle?
I'm just ready to get this on the road here. Let's go.
Are we keeping track of how many scenario shows each of us have done, respectively, in the past? I'm trying to think how many you've been on for, Ray.
4 or 5. A couple of years, a couple of seasons for sure.
Yep, we're happy that we started doing this so we don't have to spend all of our time alone in the dungeons and doldrums of our own offices. We get to share this process with all of you. Carolina Safety and Assistant Broadcast Director, that is Tyler Falk, is with us. How are you, Tyler?
Oh, hi, Cam. Hello, SFL Nation. It's going to be back. I think I've been doing this since, I want to say, season 15 or 16, so it's been quite a bit, and happy to be back for another one.
The Jack's Data Czar and the constant here on the Scenario Show with us, it's Hunter Norwood. Welcome, Hunter. Thanks for the sheet.
Of course. I'm glad someone uses it.
We definitely do. We definitely do for sure. And then, you know, he sometimes he gets washed out to sea, but he always comes back. Yogi Barr of the Bossier City Steamers. What up, old friend?
I'm a little bummed out. It's one of 2 nights a year I get to hang out with Hacker, and he's not here tonight.
Oh, man. That is a bummer. Yeah,
but
go ahead.
looking forward to it. You know, we'll get it straight. We'll figure out who's in and who's out.
All right, so we've got scenario 1 on the screen there for you, up in the upper left-hand corner. We start with Houston beating Bossier City, Mexico City beating Arizona, Albuquerque beating Fort Worth, and Sin City beating Minnesota on Monday. Now, this is how it lays out. You're going to see 4 different sheets tonight as we scroll back and forth through it. Here's the schedule page. You can see we're giving certain teams a win and certain teams a loss. That is going to factor into how the standings all calculate here. And then we're going to pull that into this sheet so that you can see all those scenarios. Some things we'll be using tonight, the Common Games Calculator, to show all of the teams. You can see right there that there's 6 teams in this scenario that finish 6-6. And they have no common opponents, so strength of victory will come into play. And then, of course, you've got our team schedules, just in case we need to sift through to look for any head-to-heads or things like that. We've got that all going on. There's a lot here. If you don't like numbers, this probably isn't the show for you. But if you like finding out who you want to root for over the next couple of days to get your optimum playoff matchup, this is it. The tiebreakers are at the bottom of the screen. They are as follows: head-to-head or head-to-head sweep, division winners over non-division winners, common games record, a minimum of 3 common games are required, strength of victory, strength of schedule, and then season point differential. If we're trying to break a tie within a division, which we might be doing a lot tonight with the South having 3 potential winners on the board, division record is second to the head-to-head tiebreaker. All right, let's get into scenario 1, ladies and gentlemen, as we've got that 6-way tie at 6-6. So we go to SOV to start, and that's where Atlanta and Queen City would fall out at 264 and 306. So Queen City, Florida, Fort Worth, Bossier. Any common games there?
Fort Worth and Bossier, yes.
So once DC and Atlanta are out,
Between the 4, no.
Yep, between the 4, no. So we got to eliminate one more through SOV. That's Queen City at 319. So they're done. You can see the SOVs getting filled in there. All right, then we're down to 1 common opponent. But do we have any head-to-head sweeps here? Looks like
No.
No.
We didn't play Florida.
all right. So eliminated on SOV. That's Florida at 361. So they would miss the playoffs in that scenario. And then you've got Bossier City beating Fort Worth, which would give them the 11 spot, correct?
11th spot, correct.
So that's Bossier 11 and Fort Worth 12. Florida would miss the playoffs, and Bossier City would get that head-to-head over Fort Worth for the 11 spot. All right, that's looking good. Thanks, guys. Ray, does that all look right to you?
Yes, sir.
All righty, let's go to the 3, 7, and 5s. We've got Sin City, Minnesota, and Denver. So we'll see what that looks like in the Common Games calculator. At early glance.
Common games.
Say again.
Sorry.
Not enough common games.
Nice.
Sin City's got the highest SOB at 417. Sin City, Minnesota, and
Denver's winning the division.
oh, that's right. So in that scenario, Denver has the tiebreaker over Minnesota. So Denver would be the 8 seed and get the home game. So then it comes down to Minnesota and Sin City, and in this scenario, Sin City wins because they play on Monday. So Sin City would get the head-to-head over Minnesota. How about that for bizarre? Last game of the season determines the 9 and the 10, and Sin City would go to Denver in this situation. All right, Carolina's your 7 seed. They're the only 8 and 4 in this scenario. Then we get to Vancouver, Mexico City, Albuquerque, and Houston. That's 3 teams in the South, all finishing 9 and 3. So we would have to determine who wins the division to determine who would get that number 3 spot. Right, Hunter?
Yes.
And
yes.
so in determining the division winner, we would go to head-to-head in that division. Now, Albuquerque, Houston, and Mexico City have all beaten each other. So that would go to division record. And in this case, I believe it would be Albuquerque. Well, hold on. Let me just make sure here. Yeah, Albuquerque gets the win over Fort Worth. So Albuquerque would be the best division record at 3-1, and they would win the division. Is that how you see it, Hunter?
So, the way I was seeing it, I'll just fill this in real quick. We have Fort Worth losing to Albuquerque, correct?
Correct.
In this scenario?
Yes.
And then Bossier is beating Houston.
No, Houston is winning.
No, Houston's winning.
Houston's beating. Okay. Just needed that just to fill in on the division standings. Oh.
Mexico's winning in this scenario.
Yes.
Yes.
So Mexico City and Houston are tied at 2-2 on division record, and then Albuquerque is winning the division record tiebreaker. But then Mexico City's winning the tie between Mexico City and Houston. Or no, actually, sorry.
Yeah, no.
So all we gotta do
Yeah,
is
you're right.
is-
Yeah, you're right.
is find
You're
the
right.
division winner, and then
Yeah, you're right.
for the division. So
Yeah, because Albuquerque
Yeah.
would be the only division winner of these 4 teams. So they would get the 3 spot.
Yes, I thought you were asking a different question. No, you're good.
Yeah, Ty, can you put in parentheses division record on for how Albuquerque won that division? There
Like
you go.
that?
Yeah, that's good. All right, so with Albuquerque now out of the way as the division winner tiebreaker, because there is no head-to-head sweep because they all beat each other. Unless Vancouver beat all 3 of them. But I don't think that happened, right?
I don't think so. No, Mexico beat them.
Yeah, that's right. So, no head-to-head sweep there. There wasn't a head-to-head sweep loss, was there? Sweep loss? Vancouver didn't lose to all of them?
Lost to Mexico. They didn't play any others.
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay, so then it's down to Houston, Mexico City, and Vancouver. So any common opponents between those three that can apply?
Negative.
Negative.
No. Nope.
So we go to SOV, and that is Vancouver, 389. They would be your 6th seed. Is that right?
Yes.
And for those
I'm adjusting.
and for those watching, the first scenario always takes the longest because we're breaking
Yes.
literally every tie first for the first time tonight. All right, then it's down to Mexico City, Houston, and Houston beat Mexico City head-to-head, correct?
Yes. Yes, they did.
So Houston would get the 4. And Mexico City would not get the bye.
Right.
And
I bet they're rooting for us this week.
and the 2 South rivals, Mexico City, Fort Worth, would play in the 5-12 game
Wow.
in that scenario. Okay, then finally, the number 1
Now the
seed,
fun.
which is just so crazy. This is going to be a roller coaster, folks. In this scenario, but just to double check, can we double check Baltimore and Washington's common games? I believe they're tied.
It should be.
No, Baltimore has a full sweep of common opponents.
No, Pitt's
Give
not counting.
me. Yeah, I was noticing an issue. I need to check something.
Yeah, Washington just beat Pitt today, who Baltimore lost to.
Right.
So they
right.
should both be 3-1. We've got a little hitch in our giddy
Yeah,
up
for some
here.
reason it's not picking that up.
I was just getting ready to point that out.
It should be 3-1, 3-1. Oh. Wonder if. I wonder if the formula was built for a 14-week schedule. Although we had 15 weeks last season, right?
We did.
We have 16 weeks this week. Or no, we still have 15.
So Washington only lost to Vancouver and Fort Worth. Baltimore lost to Lexington and Pittsburgh. Wow.
Baltimore 2 losses to teams not in the playoffs, whereas
Yeah.
Washington has 2 big losses. Kind of reminds me of the Bulls, Michael Jordan's Bulls. I can't remember what year, but they lost to the Toronto Raptors like late on the season. It was considered a huge upset or something like that. And then that was the same year that MJ led the Bulls to another championship.
Right.
That an obscure reference that nobody gets? Cool.
It doesn't look like it's counting week 15.
No, it doesn't look
When
like
I
it.
look at it.
Yeah. Weird.
We might need
That's
to
what's off.
rescan those 6 and 6s.
There you go, Front. Thanks, Charles. Appreciate you. Where would that hiccup be in? Alex?
No, it's probably just not going far enough. Looks like team schedules probably. Team schedules.
Goes to row P.
Yep, that's 15.
Yep.
Seven, two, yeah, two, one.
I think this is a scenario show first.
Yeah.
We've never had sheet malfunction before.
Not with Mr. Norwood doing them.
We're
Well,
all
I haven't
getting-
touched anything since Miles made the calculator. 2, 3, 6. So that actually just needs to be 16, I think. That should do it. Change this. Yep, there we go. Get that. Okay, so that's there.
Skip in the chat. Hunter's reign is over.
All I can say is Hacker's not here. That's all I can say.
Bernstein's in the chat, Hunter, if you have questions for him.
I see it. It was just that the range it was counting was the number was 15, which brought it to week 14. It just needed to move to 16 now. I just need to make sure it's reading on this end.
It still has it blank.
Folks. Yes.
Frank,
Well,
for your essay, the calc is not calculating week 15. We have a common game malfunction where it's not highlighting Washington's win over Pittsburgh, which would count as a common game for Washington.
Well, so Cam, if you see on the calc, it is. I got it to show here, so now I just need it to show up here. So let's see.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Index B43. So that just needs to go to 57. So you do. Let's see. Or no. B. Index. Yeah. So what we're gonna do is. Give me 1 second.
Sure.
Drew, we can't. If we place the W manually, that won't do anything. We want it to automatically.
It's so much easier to just do this. Do it this way. It's literally like two things. That's 3. So there's the pit, and then I just need to do it on this end. Now it's U, X, 7. Thank God I'm here. Imagine I'm at work right now.
Oof.
There you go.
There it is. All right, so that means that we go to SOV, and in this scenario, Baltimore is 9 points better.
Wow.
Tyler, go ahead and mark the specifics on that 433 to 442. I just want to see how that adjusts throughout the night. Because I
So
know
it'd be
I know
it's
it's
Baltimore
gonna be
over
close.
Washington.
It
the
is
SOB.
442 to 433.
It shouldn't change, should it?
It
they're
it
finished.
does
They're
because the different
If somebody
teams.
they beat, yeah, right,
Depends on who loses.
right. Like if we win, theirs goes up some. If we lose, theirs goes down. Right.
Yeah, there's a certain scenario where things get very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, 9,000. That's not much.
Okay. Just for peace of mind, can we put Bossier City,
not right
Fort
now.
Worth, and Florida back in the CG calc to ensure that they did not have enough common games? Bossier City, Fort Worth,
Actually,
Florida.
look at that one. So even with the 5, there was actually 1.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess.
Well then,
Yeah.
let's get rid of DC then. Okay, still 1.
Still
Then we
just the
get
1.
rid of Queen City. And there was only 2. Okay, so it was closer.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we checked, but essentially Florida's still out on SOV, and then Bossier City has the head-to-head.
Head-to-head. Yep.
And then can we check again? Vancouver, Mexico City, Houston. CG Calc. Vancouver, Mexico City, Houston.
Oop.
Nope. Okay.
1 second. Headhunter's not spelled correctly. Oh, still no.
All right. So that's good. All right, Vancouver out on SOB. Okay, great. I think that is scenario 1. We got it all.
Think so?
All right, things will go much quicker now. Hunter, the only change: Minnesota beats Sin City. Get in, Charlie. All right, there we have it. Now we have a 7-way tie at 6-6.
Yep.
Nice. All right, Sin City pretty high up there at 389. So let's go on the CG calc. Let's go Sin City, Bossier City, Florida. Check that. Fort Worth, Sin City, Bossier City. Fort Worth, Sin City, Bossier City. Those are our top 3 6-6 teams in terms of SOV.
Yeah, Fort
Right.
Worth, Sin City, Bossier City.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right, everybody else is.
The big difference here being Sin City lost, so they dropped down to 6-6.
Go.
That's insane.
Fine.
Oh wow.
So they do have common games. Okay, so now let's see what happens if we throw Florida in here. Just 1. So that means Florida is out.
Yes.
So Atlanta, DC, Queen City, Florida, Tyler are all out on SOV.
Yep. Confirm.
And then Fort Worth, Sin City, Bossier City cannot use common games as a tiebreaker because they're all 2-2. Is there a sweep in here anywhere? I don't think Sin City played either one of them.
No.
All right. So there's no head-to-head sweep there. So we have to go to SOV again. That is Bossier. Oh, no. Bossier City and Sin City are tied at 389
Oh boy.
for SOV. So we got to go to SOS. And that's Bossier City 535. Worse than Sin City's 542.
Oh, wow.
So Bossier City's the 12 on SOS. That is insane.
800ths.
800ths of a point.
Yep.
And then
Just for the sake of things,
yeah.
since they are tied, it does start over, but it still is tied. They're 3 and
Yeah, 'cause
they're
they
3
didn't
and
play.
4.
Yeah. No,
Oh
and,
yeah, okay, so here's Bossier City and Sin City's common games. They are both 3 and 4.
Oh my gosh.
So no head-to-head, tied common games, tied strength of victory, so we go to SOS for Bossier City. Now, Sin City and Fort Worth, they did not play each other. Let's see their common games. Fort Worth, 4 and 3 versus 2 and 5. So Fort Worth would be your 10. Sin City would be your 11 on common games. So for Fort Worth, it helps their chances if Minnesota wins on Monday in the event that they lose. All right, Denver's our only 7 and 5 team. Minnesota and Carolina are both division winners at 8 and 4. Let's check their common games calc. I got this one. Minnesota. Oh, that's right.
No, it's doing a weird. Minnesota's calling up. They did not play. This is Sin City. It's not.
I typed the wrong team. Minnesota,
Wow.
Carolina, breaking the tie between two division winners. Minnesota owns common games over Carolina.
Seven to 1.
7
Yeah,
and 1
7 and 1.
Wow.
versus 5 and 3. Pretty crazy.
It's not how you win, it's when you win.
That's right.
Apparently.
That's right. All right. Then we've
Or
got.
if you can win, I guess.
Then we have the same 4 teams at the top. This scenario does not impact that because Albuquerque still wins the South with the same division record, and Houston still beat Mexico City. So you can just copy and paste that scenario 1 from 3 to 6. As long as Vancouver's SOV is still the worst of the 4.
Confirmed.
And it is 389.
It is.
All right, Baltimore, Washington. Did it change? It sure did in favor of Baltimore. 450 to 425. Baltimore's got a little better. And that's because they beat Minnesota, whereas Washington beat Sin City.
And we lost to Houston, which makes our strength of victory less for Washington.
That's true. That's right. So, yep, those things factor in. Let's see. Anything stick out? Vancouver would take on Sin City in the 6-11. Sin City beat Vancouver in Vancouver earlier this season.
Yes, they did.
That's the
That's hard to do.
that's the one I see there that's compelling. All right, scenario 3, Hunter. The only change is that Fort Worth beats Albuquerque, and that's a big change. So far, we still have the same teams in. Florida's out, Queen City's out, DC, Atlanta, Arizona, all out.
And Fort Worth in still, even with a loss.
Correct, right.
Because of strength of victory, strength of schedule.
Same with Bossier City, still in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
with a
Yeah.
loss. right, there it is. And we're back to our same 6-way tie from... no. Why is that different?
Sin City's down there now, but they were down there last time. Atlanta, Queen City, DC, Florida, Bossier, Sin City.
But why did we have 7 in scenario 2? Oh, because Fort Worth was included. Okay. All right, let's go. So we would have Bossier City, Sin City, and Florida. For the first time, they would be our top 3 6 and 6 teams. So let's go to CG Calc. Bossier City, Sin City, Florida. Nothing. Bossier City,
Nope.
Sin City, Florida. Nothing there.
We're out on SOV again.
So it's SOV again, and it's Florida. Still on the outside looking in at 347. Then it comes down to Bossier City and Sin City, who did not play each other.
Nope.
And we've had that before. That's the SOS.
3 and 4, 3 and 4.
But is the SOV different this time? It is.
Yeah.
This time,
Sure.
Bossier City has the better SOV over Sin City. So Bossier City's your 11, and Sin City is your 12 on SOV. Here's an interesting one. Fort Worth and Denver, both 7 and 5. Neither won their division. Did they play each other?
Fort Worth has a huge SOB compared to Denver.
They did play each other, and Fort Worth beat them.
Yep. So the rest is irrelevant.
So on head-to-head, Fort Worth is your 9. Denver is your 10. That's the highest the Toros have been, obviously.
You changed the wrong one.
They got to win.
Yep.
Copy.
There you go.
All right, then
That
at
was
8 and 4,
head-to-head.
hey, how about this? So Albuquerque's your only non-division winner in this bunch, so they fall to 8.
Yes.
Wow.
Unless Albuquerque had the head-to-head sweep.
Still wouldn't matter. Division winner over.
No, head-to-head sweep takes precedence.
Oh.
Yep.
But they got to beat them both.
No,
And
they do not.
Minnesota beat them, so yeah, doesn't matter. All right, then we're back to Minnesota, Carolina, and that tiebreaker was broken in scenario 2 on common games. So it would be Minnesota over Carolina, so Minnesota 6, Carolina 7. There you go.
Same common game.
Yeah.
Loss.
Yep, that's not going to change. The SOV will, but the common games won't.
Minnesota is 10th, 7th, and 6th in 3 scenarios.
Yeah, so far. Pretty well.
so far.
A win may get him a home playoff game. That may be the difference on Monday.
Yep.
All right, then we got to decide the South here. We got 3 teams at 9 and 3. Houston beat Mexico City in a head-to-head, so Houston wins the South in scenario 3.
Yes. Wow.
And then between Mexico City and Vancouver, the Aztecs beat Vancouver head-to-head.
Yes.
Right.
All right, Baltimore, Washington. Let's see what that looks like. And that is Baltimore 458 to 425. So that's even better for them.
SOV.
Yeah. Okay, that is scenario 3. We still have the same 12 teams in. Just a matter of seeding. Scenario 4, Hunter. The only change, Sin City beats Minnesota.
All right. Give me 2 seconds.
Charlie, we
I
will
can
have 2 games on Easter, but they are at 6:30 and 9 p.m. Eastern. They are not early.
So get your
Sad.
Easter egg hunting done early.
Only change is Sin City.
Sin City over Minnesota is the only change. Hunter asked for some
I got
time.
it.
There you
Got it? Okay. I was going to
Yeah.
help him out and do it, but
Miles reminded me that I need to change the other bits of the calc format. I just fixed those 2 rows just so we don't run into it again. But let's do this real quick. Let's see.
I'm like working under pressure, huh?
That's all I do.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's used to it.
have we seen an SOV in the 600s? A scenario show?
I mean,
Wow.
that's a
In the top
high-
12, not usually.
That's a high SOV. I don't know that we've ever seen
mean-
it that high.
Look at the South and how high we all are. You know, we're all up higher. So I mean, it's tough. It's tough to get to 600.
Yeah, Fort Worth 607. That is wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
And lost to Pitt.
Right.
Pitt.
Yeah.
Pitt beat Fort Worth and Baltimore.
Yeah.
Just-
Yeah.
You're good.
Oh, boom.
All right. Our top 3. Okay, this is new. Bossier City, Florida, DC are our top 3 6 and 6s.
Slide your screen over so you can see the whole thing, please.
Talking to me?
No, whoever. I mean, you can't see. You can barely see the teams here for this scenario. There's that me.
I think that's you. I think it's okay.
Okay, I was looking on the scenario show.
I can't watch that scenario show when I have 3 screens.
Bossier City, Florida, DC. Okay. Oh, that doesn't register.
Thanks, Skip.
Oh! Well, that's interesting. Okay, Bossier City, Florida, DC does have common games. DC has the best record of common games. So, Hunter, we go to break the tie between Bossier City and Florida. Is that correct?
Yes.
Because we just don't give it to them outright. So,
Correct.
So we got to break the tie between. Okay, I see what you were doing. All right, so we take. Oh my goodness. All right, so to break the tie between Bossier City and Florida, who have a worse common games than DC, they both have the same common games against each other, and they did not play each other. So the worst SOV is Florida.
Right.
So Florida is slotted 14th. Okay. Can DC get in? DC on common games is 5-3 over Bossier City's 4-4.
Yep.
So the Dragons are your 12 seed and knock the Steamers out.
That loss to Indianapolis kills us on that scenario.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
So DC,
Oh, that
not
was a bad
Florida, is the team that could potentially crash the party if Bossier City loses tomorrow.
Yep.
That was Florida's chance, it felt like.
So this one was with Minnesota winning. Is that the
Losing.
difference in this scenario?
Minnesota
Okay.
losing.
So we're big Minnesota fans. Okay.
All right. All right, now we have a 4-way tie at 7 and 5. Denver is your division winner, so they would be the 8 seed, where they currently are, Tyler.
Sorry, say that one more time. Minnesota 8 seed because of...
Denver
No.
is the 8
Denver.
seed because they
Okay.
win the division, so they're right where they are. Fort Worth, Sin City, Minnesota. Have we seen that yet? I don't think
I believe so.
I don't think so. I don't see that anywhere.
No.
All right. So Fort Worth, Sin City, Minnesota. There we go.
No common games.
All right. Now
Or one common game.
Minnesota beat Sin City, but Sin City and Fort Worth did not. The Fort Worth didn't play either one of them. Okay, so that goes to SOV. That is Minnesota, 357. So Minnesota would be your 11. Then you have Sin City and Fort Worth. They did not play each other. The common games is overwhelmingly Fort Worth, 5 and 2 versus 2 and 5. Fort Worth is your 9s.
So the only other thing there is Fort Worth beat Denver head to head.
Say again, Hunter.
Fort Worth beat Denver head to head.
But it's not
So
a head suit
Denver-
against all 7 and 5s.
But
No, well,
that
in the past, go ahead.
division winners over non-division winners is the second tiebreak. Head-to-head is the first tiebreak. So Fort Worth would be the 8th seed if they beat Denver.
Right. If we stick to how we've been doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Fort Worth
Yeah.
would be the 8th seed, and Denver would be the 9th seed. Wow, that's the difference in who hosts that game.
Yeah. It's huge.
And when you think about it, that makes sense for tiebreakers, right? I mean, Fort Worth beat Denver. They're the better team. They should
Yes,
have that home
yes.
game.
Head to head always comes first.
Yeah, I think you got it, Ty.
Yeah,
That looks right.
just trying to make it fit in current confines.
Yeah, that's a funky one, but that's the difference between hosting and not hosting. Okay, then we have Albuquerque and Carolina. Now, Carolina would get the 6th seed because they won the division unless they played head-to-head. Albuquerque beat Carolina. So, same situation. Albuquerque would be the 6 because they beat Carolina head-to-head, even though Carolina's a division winner.
Head to head first.
Yep, head-to-head first. Wow, 2 times in one scenario,
Yeah.
the head-to-head.
In one scenario.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's pretty unusual.
Yeah, that is.
Then we have 3 through 5. That's the same as scenario 3. Houston beat Mexico City head-to-head, and Mexico City beat Vancouver head-to-head. Houston and Vancouver did not play, right?
I believe so.
No.
I don't think so. We played them, but I don't think Houston
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. And then SOV is Baltimore 450 and Washington 433. Baltimore's still ahead, although it's a little tighter.
A little bit tighter.
Okay, we move over to scenario 5. The only change, Hunter, is Arizona upsets Mexico City.
Upsets. Up crowd.
Well,
It would be an upset.
Well, my dad would be upset.
Yeah, he would be very upset.
Yeah.
Arizona's SOV with the loss is 361 at the moment.
And with a win, it would rocket.
Oh, it's 3-6-1 with the win.
Ah,
Oh, 3-6-1. Okay. I thought I caught it before it changed.
Mm.
But they are in the top 3 of SOV now.
Let's see if Arizona has a shot. All right. Only one 6-6 team would get in this case. Bossier City, Florida, Arizona is our first CG look.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Sorry, I
Okay.
put Arizona in twice. Bossier City, Arizona, Florida.
Florida.
Nope, not enough.
Nope.
Arizona lost. Wait. I was looking at something. Arizona lost to Florida and did not play Bossier. Bossier didn't play either one of them. Okay. So that goes to SOV. Arizona 3-6-1 by 0.014. Not enough. So Arizona's your 14. Then we get to Florida and Bossier City, and they're tied
2 and 3. Yep.
2 and
Again.
3. So SOV is Florida 375, and Bossier gets the 12 seed. Woo! Just barely.
Yep.
And Florida is still looking for a path. What'd you say, Ray?
Not calling Tyler SMB for.
Yep. I was just getting all the numbers.
Now we have all these 7 and 5 teams.
All right, now we got 4, 7, and 5s. We have the scenario. It's the same 4 as scenario 4, guys. So 8 through 11 is the same. Let's make sure that Minnesota is still the lowest SOV. They are. Okay. And then it's common game. Fort Worth common games over Sin City, and then Fort Worth head-to-head over Denver. Correct. And then 6 and 7 is the same. Albuquerque head-to-head over Carolina. Oh, wait, but we got Mexico City thrown in here now.
Yep.
So, and Mexico City beat Albuquerque. Did Mexico City and Carolina play? I don't think so.
Did not.
So, there's no head-to-head sweep there, so we're going to have to go common again. Albuquerque, Mexico City. Well, wait, Carolina's a division winner.
Yeah.
So Carolina
Yeah,
would get the
so-
5. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's their best scenario.
Yep. So far.
So Carolina's the 5, and then as a division winner, and then Mexico City beat Albuquerque head-to-head. So they would be the 6, Albuquerque would be the 7. And Houston wins the South. Again.
Yep.
That's 3 straight scenarios for Houston. Houston and Vancouver in a 2-way tie.
Did not play, I believe, right?
They did not.
Yeah, so then it just sits. Because Houston won the division.
Ah, that's right. Yeah, Houston as a division winner would be the 3 seed.
Hold up. Skibby brings up a good point. Albuquerque beat Carolina head-to-head.
No, doesn't apply because there is a 3-way tie at 8 and 4. So you need a
2-way tie, but then we go back to the whole Fort Worth Denver thing where Denver and Fort Worth were in a 4-way tie at 7 and 5, but yet we gave them head-to-head.
but not at the end. not
Yes.
at the end. But Fort Worth and Denver were the only two teams left standing, right? But Albuquerque is not the last team left standing between the three-way tie of Albuquerque, Mexico City, and Carolina. Albuquerque is the first team out in that scenario. So their head-to-head versus Carolina does not get to apply because they did not make it out of the three-way tie.
Right. They were already eliminated out of the 3.
But we have not noted how they were eliminated out of the 3. Because of their head-to-head loss to Mexico City, right?
Okay. It's a weird
Yes.
scenario.
Yeah, basically the division winner gets safety until the very end.
Right,
And then we just
until
check
the
real quick. Yeah, it's just a quick check to see if there's a head-to-head. If there's no head-to-head, then, hey, you're the division winner.
They
You
stay
got
there.
to get held out.
Yeah, Mexico City being involved in that hurts Albuquerque because they lost to Mexico City.
Right.
All right. So Houston is the 3 seed because they're a division winner, and then Vancouver is your 4.
Correct.
Back to Baltimore and Washington's SOV battle. That is
Even tighter.
450 to 442. That's the tightest it's been yet, but Baltimore wins again. Okay, scenario 6. The only change, Hunter. Minnesota beats Sin City. So just further explanation while we're getting those things situated for scenario 6. A head-to-head win can only apply if you're only tied with that team. But once a third team enters the dance, the head-to-head can only apply if the head-to-head applies to all the teams. Essentially, your Carolina's loss to Albuquerque doesn't mean as much if we're trying to figure out where Mexico City ranks amongst those 3 teams. We can't judge Albuquerque and Carolina without also judging them against Mexico City. And so in order to do that, Carolina gets that protection as a division winner. And because Mexico City beat Albuquerque, that ends up weighing more than Albuquerque's win over Carolina because Carolina has that division winner protection. So by winning that division, essentially Mexico City's head-to-head win matters more than Albuquerque's head-to-head win.
Wow, look at all these 6 and 6 teams.
So Albuquerque's head-to-head win is mooted because the protection of the division winner.
Right, and the inclusion of a team that beat Albuquerque.
Right.
Yeah, because Albuquerque essentially has 2 things not going for them, a loss to Mexico City and the fact they didn't win a division.
Correct.
All right, lots of 6 and 6s here, but I think we've seen this before. Sin City, Bossier City, Florida. That was scenario 3. Sin City, Bossier City, and Florida were the last 3 teams standing. In that scenario, Florida was eliminated on SOV, and
Yeah, we had 2.
that would continue.
Yeah, the only difference here is Florida and Arizona do tie on SOV, but it's a head-to-head with Florida.
Yeah, because Florida beat Arizona, right? So they would
Yes.
move
Yes.
on. And
Sin
Florida,
City and Bossier also tie.
yep. And so now we're back to the Bossier Sin City tie at SOV. That was scenario 1, where we had it was scenario 2, where Bossier City did not have as good of a strength of schedule. And is that still the case? It is.
Yes.
So Yeah, Tyler, Bossier City's the 12 on SOS. That comes from scenario 2.
Sorry, Mike was. Yeah, just getting the numbers.
Scenario 2, Sin City on SOS.
Yeah, I'm just getting the SOS.
Oh, you want the numbers. 528
numbers.
to 542.
Perfect. Good to go.
Okay.
Then Fort Worth, Denver from scenario 4.
Yeah, the head-to-head for Fort Worth means that Fort Worth is the 9 and Denver's the 10. All right, 8 and 4.
This one's different. Okay.
Yeah. All right, so Carolina and Minnesota are both division winners. So they would get initial protection. Back in scenario 3, Minnesota has common games over Carolina. So for the moment, Minnesota is 5, Carolina is 6. And then Mexico City beat Albuquerque in head-to-head. That's from scenario 5. So
Correct.
Mexico City would be the 7, Albuquerque would be the 8. Now, the question is, does Mexico City, did they beat Carolina or Minnesota?
They beat Minnesota, but they didn't play Carolina. So I think it's
you
a
need
moot
you need a
point.
head-to-head sweep, and they don't have that.
Right.
No.
So then
Yes.
that would not apply. Minnesota, common games over Carolina gets them the 5.
Correct.
That's from scenario.
You said 4?
4, I was thinking.
Yep, 7-1-5-3.
Yeah, that's scenario 3.
Yep.
Okay, Houston, Vancouver is the same thing. Houston is a division winner, and they did not play each other.
Baltimore, Washington.
Oh,
Baltimore, Washington is 458 to
Even?
433. Baltimore.
33.
A little closer.
less close than before, but it works. For them.
Oh, 458. I'm sorry, I was looking at 450.
458 to 433.
Yeah. I looked
Okay.
at it quickly. I thought it was 450.
Scenario 7, Hunter. The only change: Albuquerque beats Fort Worth.
Maybe I'm missing something here. What does Flesh Lavender have to do anything about it?
What?
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 Salt in the chat.
Oh, the color.
Fresh lavender?
Eats me.
Where do you see
The
that in
color
the
on
chat?
The league
Live
standard.
chat. You probably have top chat on.
Oh. How did that happen?
That's by default top chat
Mhm.
goes first, and then
Oh.
you have to turn on live chat.
Yeah, I
to
don't
see
know.
everything.
Okay, all right. Maybe I should go back to top chat.
You're good.
Good copy.
Okay.
Oh my!
Who's
That's
this one?
trick.
Teams. That's 6 and
Great.
6. All right. according to SOV, Fort Worth, Sin City, and Bossier City are the top 3. Have we been here before?
Yes.
Fort Worth, Sin City, Bossier City.
I think it was the first one, honestly.
Nope. Sin City 1.
That was 7.
Oh, no.
No, it was scenario 2. You were close, Hunter. Scenario 2, Fort Worth, Sin City, and Bossier City were the top 3, and we broke the tie on SOS between Bossier City and Sin City, so it wasn't a common games break. So we've got to go back to the SOV of Bossier City and Sin City. That's no longer tied. Bossier City is behind Sin City, so Bossier City would be the 12.
Yep.
You got it, Tyler.
Yeah,
Bossier
okay.
City's the 12 on SOV. And then Sin City and Fort Worth in Scenario 2. Fort Worth has the common games over Sin 4 and 3 to 2 and 5. Scenario 2, Tyler. So Fort Worth would be the 10.
As we are, basically.
So Denver is alone at 7 and 5.
Yep.
Minnesota, Carolina, Mexico City.
All right, so we have 2 division winners here. Minnesota, that's Scenario 6, Tyler. The CG over Carolina. And then Mexico City, you said, Hunter, beat Minnesota but did not play Carolina, so their head-to-head cannot apply because it's not a sweep.
So it's scenario 6, basically.
Yep.
Yeah. Essentially, Carolina being the same record is helping Minnesota. Because if Carolina wasn't there, then Mexico City could leapfrog them.
Correct.
Right.
Albuquerque, Houston, Vancouver.
So
All right, so
Carolina's Sin City thing.
So now Albuquerque is the division winner because they beat Houston head-to-head. So Albuquerque's your 3 seed.
Correct.
Now, Houston has been beating Vancouver on the division tiebreaker, but that no longer applies because neither one of them won the division. So now we go to common games between Houston and Vancouver. That looks like that. Houston wins 5-1 to 4-2 on common
Correct.
games. And that's the difference between a first round bye and not a first round bye.
Playing in
And
the
we go
first
back to Baltimore.
One game. That would have been the Washington. What would that have been? The Mexico. Well, they all kind of
So
beat
each
different
other up.
teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
438 again.
Oh, yeah. SOV 450 to 433, Baltimore. Okay, Hunter. The only change, Sin City over Minnesota. Well, this Baltimore-Washington thing has been very anticlimactic so far.
And then nothing really changes.
But with Bossier City winning,
Funny you say that. Funny you
Yeah.
say that.
Look at Florida.
Oh no!
Yeah,
I
but
see
it
it.
can come down
They're
to
tied now.
SOS.
Oh!
Out
the
in
drama's
SOS.
building behind the scenes.
That's
Let's
interesting.
see.
We'll have a change
What?
here.
That's still here.
Here's your drama cam.
There. All right.
So far, I think the most interesting is the fact that DC
Can sneak in.
can sneak in, but everyone else has no path so far. All right.
Told you that earlier. It came down to a
Yep.
common opponents. It's
Yep.
the only thing that can get somebody in.
Fort Worth, Bossier City, Florida. I feel like we've seen that.
We have many times.
Fort Worth, Bossier City, and Florida. as our top 3 6-6 teams. That was scenario 1.
Yeah.
Fort Worth, Bossier City, Florida. In scenario 1, Florida was eliminated on SOV. Oh, but it's a tie.
But go to the next column.
Well, but it starts over between Florida and Bossier City. We got to check common games, which I think we did, right? And it was tied.
We already did. Yeah, we already did that.
Yeah, tied. All right, so for the playoffs, Bossier City, Florida did not play, tied common games, tied strength of victory, and Bossier City's playing in the South means they get in on SOS 521 to 507. That's why you want to play in a tough division.
It's 12th or bust for us, pretty much. Yeah.
Well, you're 11th there.
Yeah,
Bossier
back to
Fort
scenario
Worth.
1. Bossier City has the head-to-head over Fort Worth. So Bossier City's year 11 in this.
There you go, Yogi.
Yeah. There you go.
We have Denver, Minnesota, Sin City.
I think we've seen that before.
Yeah, that might be 1 again.
Scenario 5, but that also
One is 1 as well. Denver is the division winner, and then Sin City beats Minnesota in this scenario. There you go. All right, Carolina, Mexico City. Carolina is the 6 based on the division, and they did not play each other.
Correct.
All right, Houston, Vancouver, Albuquerque, same as scenario 7. Albuquerque's your division winner on a head-to-head win, and then Houston has the common games on Vancouver. For the 1 seed,
That's a very good fun.
442, 442.
we're gonna tie.
A tie.
Tied.
And the tougher schedule was
Is
Washington. So Washington would get the number 1 seed on SOS. That has to be a first in league history.
Yeah, for the first, definitely.
Wow.
What a
That
scenario.
that is
There's the
something.
drama.
All right, we're gonna mark that as a interesting green.
It's been
Green.
flirting with that all night.
Yep.
Yep.
So there you go. It is possible that Washington gets that 8 seed. All right, let's jump to 16, scenario 16. And the only difference now, Hunter, is that Bossier City beat Houston from our current scenario. Bossier City beats Houston.
That's gonna bring Mexico City into division title play again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting. Said Bossier City beats
Houston.
Houston?
Houston.
Okay.
Yes.
But when it flips around to where Mexico City wins their matchup in another scenario, I think they'll win the division.
Yeah, that's what was confusing me. I was like, I was
Yeah.
wondering if I did something wrong.
No, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
Good to copy.
Give me 2 seconds. Did Houston beat? Yeah. 75. Sit there. Get this.
By the way, in scenario 7, Minnesota and Sin City would play in a rematch of the final game in the 6-11 matchup.
Who does it have us playing in 7? I missed that.
Vancouver.
That's what I thought.
You could play
you're good
Vancouver,
to go.
Carolina, Minnesota.
Mexico.
Yeah, just about anybody.
Yeah.
All right, top 3 teams. Fort Worth, Florida, Arizona. We saw that somewhere.
Right up top. Top of scenario 8.
Well, we had been involved in all the others. 'Cause this is our first time winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bossier City was involved. Fort Worth, oh, that's true. So we haven't seen it because
Nope.
Bossier City's always been involved. Fort Worth, Arizona, Florida.
Okay. I'm a game calculator.
Interesting. Does Arizona... Ooh, minimum of 3. Just squeezed it. Florida,
Florida's
0
out.
and 3. So they're the first to go on Common Games.
Fort Worth, Arizona.
So Florida's your 14 seed, and then it comes down to Arizona and Fort Worth. And Fort Worth.
Changes.
Fort Worth on Common Games is your 12, and Arizona is out.
Out again.
And the difference was that Fort Worth beat Washington and Florida. That was the big one. So Arizona still with no path, and Fort Worth survives. Okay, Minnesota, Bossier, Sin City, Denver. Denver is your division winner based on the head-to-head over Minnesota, so they would be the 8th seed for now. Then we got Bossier City, Minnesota, and Sin City. Nothing. Bossier City, Minnesota, Sin City. So that, do they play each other? Bossier City.
No, we didn't play Sin City.
But, wait now. Wait a minute. Sin City beat Minnesota, and Bossier City beat Minnesota.
Minnesota's out.
So that's a head-to-head
Head-to-head
sweep loss
Right.
for Minnesota. So Minnesota would be your 11 seed. So now it's down to Bossier City, Sin City.
Something picturing.
Hi.
You
Common
guys
game.
have been
Hi.
tied all night in just about everything. SOV is an edge to Sin City. So
Yep.
Bossier City on SOV is your 10. That's your best look so far.
Yeah.
And
that's
then
where I had as
Sin
the
City
highest.
is your 9. And did Sin City play Denver? No.
No.
Which is weird. I still think of Denver as like a team in the West. It's just so weird.
Yeah.
They were in the West forever.
Yeah, but
Yep.
we got the pink. We have the pink bowl back. Sin City and Denver.
That's true. Yeah, the Vice Wars stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
the Vice War.
Oh, do we have a... I see that the Washington is still the same. And then Albuquerque did not play Vancouver, so their division win applies there. And then it's Carolina is the division winner there. And then Houston beat Mexico City head-to-head. Did Houston play Carolina? No.
No.
Okay.
So Washington and Baltimore.
Wow. Mexico City, Bossier in the 7-10 in that one.
Yep. So we
You would have,
so the same scenario as scenario 8. Washington.
You would have Vice Wars in
Yeah.
the 8-9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Carolina-Fort Worth, a rematch of the Monday night game that was won on the final play by Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay, scenario 15. Hunter, the only change is that Minnesota beats Sin City. I love this time of year.
Crazy.
And looking at these brackets, guys, I think for the first time in a long time, I could say I could see any of these road teams winning.
Yeah. Easily. Could happen.
Andrew Good.
Man, Arizona was so close in that last one. They only have 3 more chances because we're about to be done with all their
they
wins.
lose.
All right,
Yep.
Fort Worth, Sin City, and Florida, that's different. So we need to check that. Fort Worth, Sin City, Florida in the CG calc. Fort Worth, Sin City, Florida. Nope, not enough.
Nope.
And they lost to all of them, basically. Fort Worth, Sin City, Florida. So we go to SOV. It's Florida out again.
And head-to-head sweep, Sin City and Fort.
Oh, wait.
No, not head-to-head sweep. Sin City lost to Florida.
And they didn't play Fort Worth.
Right.
I was just seeing Florida beat or lost to Fort Worth. I was thinking it might be a head-to-head sweep loss again. It's not.
Yeah, no, but I'm glad you checked because it could have been. Yeah, they just didn't play. They both played Florida, but Florida split it. And then Sin City and Fort Worth did not play. So Florida's out on SOV.
Florida was uncommon.
Fort Worth on top.
And then Fort Worth beats Sin City on Common Games. And in this scenario, Denver is not a division winner. So it's Denver, Bossier City. Did y'all play Denver?
No. Not that I remember.
Common Games, Bossier City
Bossier.
wins.
Yep.
Bossier City's the 9 seed. Creeping.
Oh boy. Guys, 8-4. Carolina, Minnesota, Houston, Mexico.
All right, so now we're back to Carolina, Minnesota being the 5 because of their Common Games. That's scenario 7, Ty.
Yes.
Common Games over Carolina. So Minnesota's 5, Carolina's 6. Houston beat Mexico City, so Houston's the 7. Aztecs the 8. And Houston did not play both Carolina and Minnesota, so they are stuck down there.
Now Baltimore's back to the 450, 430 rate. Okay.
Yeah, and Baltimore's back ahead. Albuquerque did not play Vancouver. Okay. Scenario 14, Hunter. The only change is Fort Worth beats Albuquerque. And also in scenario 15, Sin City and Minnesota playing a rematch.
Oop, that's not right.
It seems like, at least for right now, this Washington needs 3 teams to win in order for them to be the number 1 seed. That'd be Albuquerque, Sin City, Arizona.
Yep. Yep. So the Bossier City Houston game really doesn't matter to Washington. That's what we've discovered here so far, anyway. So it does look like Hunter said, it does look like the Sin City, Minnesota game could determine the number 1 seed.
Yeah, has a bearing on it.
Cam, can I, just because it's probably going to come into play, this scenario, Fort Worth is beating Albuquerque.
Correct.
All right. And then the Houston Bossier game.
Still Bossier.
Bossier's winning. The rest of the way, Bossier's beating Houston.
I'm just filling in division.
Yeah.
Division standings.
Gotcha.
This one's a little different. Okay, it's still.
All right, the top 3
So-
teams at 6 and 6. This could be spicy. Sin City, Florida, Arizona. That was scenario 15.
Yep.
Sin City, Florida, Arizona. What is happening to 15 right now?
Copying and pasting errors.
Okay, so okay, so they tied, but then Arizona's out because Florida beat them, and then Florida and Sin City did not have common I guess they had a tie common games. I just want to double check.
Sin City in Florida.
Don't damn down there.
No, Sin City. Oh, Sin City lost to Florida. Wow, hold on a minute. Wait just a minute. Sin City lost to Florida. So in scenario 15, Florida should be in the playoffs.
No, because Fort Worth is also 6 and 6, and that throws,
Fort Worth
throws
was in that
everybody
one.
off.
Yeah.
With Fort Worth not being in this one, it's strictly down to Sin City, Florida.
Yeah.
Right. So Florida's in
Yeah.
scenario
Head-to-head.
14. Holy smokes. The Storm aren't dead yet.
The Fox was wrong.
Whoa.
Oh, God.
What'd you say, Ray?
Nothing.
Oh, I thought I heard.
Talking to myself. Sorry.
That is a bit. That's a big deal. Can you imagine being the 5 seed and getting Florida in the first round? That'd be scary as all get out.
That might be Carolina, and I'm scared.
Yeah.
Well, hey, if I'm Florida, that's the matchup I don't want because Carolina's got their number. All right, 3-way tie at 7 and 5. Denver's not your division winner. And Fort Worth's now in the mix, which they weren't in 15. I think this is the first time we've seen this. Bossier City, Denver, Fort Worth. Ty's got it.
Yep.
Bossier City, Denver. Ooh, spicy. Fort Worth.
What?
Ooh, spicy. Denver has
Is
the
out.
worst common games. Denver is your 11 seed. Is that the lowest they've been?
I
Might
think
so.
so, yeah.
And head-to-head, we beat Fort Worth, so we'd be ahead of them.
Yep. That is the same as scenario 1.
Yep.
This is currently the worst position in Denver
Yep.
playoffs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, they lost their protection on this one.
Yeah, because Minnesota.
They're not the
Yeah.
division winner in this one.
Right.
So Minnesota, Houston, Mexico. I know we've seen that one.
So Bossier City head-to-head on Fort Worth. All right. Well, this gets interesting now because we have 5 teams at 8 and 4. What, Hunter?
I realized I forgot to move Minnesota up because they won the division.
We have a 3-way tie at 8-4 to determine the South Division winner.
Wow.
So, first we have to determine who wins the South, and then there's going to be 3 different division winners that finish 8-4, and we'll have to figure that out. So at 8-4, Albuquerque, Houston, and Mexico City all beat each other, so we would have to go to division record.
Mexico City and Albuquerque are 2-2. Houston's 1-3.
Oh, and yeah.
So
So
Houston's
Mexico City wins.
right. So Mexico City would win the division on the head-to-head versus Albuquerque, and the better division record than Houston. So our 3 division winners in this scenario are Mexico City, Carolina, Minnesota. So Albuquerque and Houston would be the bottom 2. And
Right.
Albuquerque beat Houston head-to-head.
Correct.
So Houston would be the 8. Albuquerque would be the 7. And then
Yeah.
Mexico City, we can throw them at 4 for now, just to get them back on the thing. Wow, one of these division winners is going to get a bye and
Yep.
not have to play Florida. That's unbelievable. All right, I'll give Tyler a chance to catch up here because I'm going.
No,
fast.
there we go. There we go.
All right, and then put head-to-head for Albuquerque over Houston on the 7-8. All right. I don't think Albuquerque beat all 3 of these teams, right? So I don't think a head-to-head sweep's going to apply.
Well,
Well,
I
they-
think they
yeah.
played Carolina.
Well, they
It
lost
has
to
be
Mexico.
all-
Yeah, they
Yeah.
lost to Mexico, right?
So
Did
it's
they? Yeah, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so now we have to figure out Mexico City, Carolina, Minnesota, and how that tie is broken for the bye. So let's go to CG Calc. Mexico City, Carolina, Minnesota.
Sweep Minnesota on Common Game.
Yep, 3-0.
But Carolina worst Common Game.
Yep. They're 1-2, and Mexico City 2-1.
So Carolina is the first to go. They are 6th. Then Minnesota, Mexico City. Mexico City beat Minnesota. So Mexico City gets the bye, and Minnesota's got to play Florida in the first round.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And that one, so Mexico gets the bye, and then the 7, 8, 9, and 10 is the rest of the South.
Yeah. And Houston, Bossier
Wow.
City would play in a rematch.
A rematch.
And Albuquerque
right away.
and Fort Worth would play in a rematch.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm.
Right away.
Vancouver's number 3, and Baltimore's still number 1.
2 first-round rematches is real ugly. I hope that doesn't happen. That's tough to swallow. But
I think Florida will argue with you on that one.
well, that's true. It would be apropos though, because the South would just keep beating each other into oblivion.
Right. Right.
That is just crazy. And then Baltimore is ahead of Washington again. Okay, Hunter. Scenario 13. The only change is that Sin City beats Minnesota. And I think this is Arizona's last stand.
No 6-6 teams make it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
I was
look at all
wondering
those
if that
7
was
and
coming.
5 teams.
I think
Yeah.
I think
Let's get
Arizona just got
14.
eliminated.
Rough.
Pain.
Oh, no.
Okay, so all the 6-6 teams are out, so we don't have to worry about any of that.
Right.
Because we got plenty to worry about. 5 teams, 7 and 5.
7 and 5.
Denver is a division winner in this scenario. They go all the way up to 8.
Yes.
and they get
For
that
now.
initial protection. But if Fort Worth survives all the way, then they would upset them. All right, we've got, I guess, all of them? Minnesota, Bossier City, Fort Worth, Sin City?
Yeah.
Into the calc?
All 4 of them. Yep.
You got to
Got
throw
to.
them all in there.
Yep.
The worst SOV.
This is a lot easier than counting games for sure.
Yeah, it is. So much easier.
The worst SOV is Minnesota. By losing to Denver, they would fall to 12. Yeah. Minnesota is 12th on
So Bossier
SOV.
City and Sin City have the same.
That's got to be Minnesota's worst. So Minnesota could be hosting Florida in the 5-12, or they could be the 12.
Sin City has worse common games in the next scenario.
Correct.
And Fort Worth is 4-1.
Five and 1.
Yeah.
Not play each other.
So Fort Worth is your 8 because they have the head-to-head over Denver, and Bossier City is your 10.
So Fort Worth 8 because they had Denver 9, Bossier City. Copy.
Correct.
Head-to-head.
Scenario 5, right above your head, Ty, has the Fort Worth, Denver 8-9 stuff.
And Sin City.
Yep.
Yeah. There we go.
Game. I need to change this to 5.
And so in that scenario, Bossier beats Houston at home, and their reward is playing Houston on the road.
On the road, yes.
Gotta love it.
Charlie, we'll have a summary on Discord League Alerts after all this. Good night.
Camp's
Houston.
not going to bed tonight.
All right, Houston,
we can't
Albuquerque, Carolina, Mexico City. 2 of these are division winners. That is Mexico City and Carolina. They're positioned correctly. Mexico City and Carolina. That
I think I've
tie
seen this. Yes.
That's in scenario
8.
Scenario
8. Yeah.
Or no,
6.
Scenario 5, but
we can't use 8 because they both weren't division winners in 8.
Right.
They
They
also.
are in 6.
This is the first time they are both division winners without Minnesota involved.
Yep.
So,
Right.
plugging.
yeah, CG Calc. Minnesota, Carolina. Could Carolina get a bye? Ooh, tied.
Tie.
LV.
SOV. Carolina's
Uh,
worse.
Yep.
427. Carolina's your 5 on SOV. Mexico City's the 4. And Carolina hosts Minnesota in the 5-12.
Wow.
Oh, pain!
Welcome to the playoffs. You gotta play Minnesota.
Dude, I am so pumped for the wild card. I mean, all of these games are just
Look at Sin
fascinating.
City's got to go to Albuquerque.
Yeah,
Rough.
Oof.
Gross.
Playing
and
Albuquerque at
Houston
home is
Bossier in a
nothing nice.
rematch.
Yeah. Again.
Just like Hunter was saying, congratulations, you beat Houston. Now you got to go there in the playoffs.
Now you get to go there. Yeah.
Imagine playing Albuquerque at home.
Oof.
Oh yeah, that's a brutal draw. Yeah, anybody that's got to do that, that's tough. They still haven't lost.
I know. I thought
No.
that playing Albuquerque at home, like, oof.
Scenario 12, Mexico City over Arizona, and in their, I'm gonna call it their sister scenario relationship. Scenario 4 was interesting because DC got in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mexico City over Arizona, Hunter. The change.
Oh, okay.
And it's not looking good for Atlanta, Queen City, Arizona.
No.
Oh, your heart goes out to Queen City because they had one hell of a season.
Yeah, they did. Great comeback. But something interesting, if you look at the total points differential, Queen City is negative 153, yet they were 6-6.
That's one of the wildest things.
Indianapolis is negative 147, and they're 3-9.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's when you give them up and how you give them up.
And you guys, boy, you took it to them. What was that, week 3 or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
All right, you good?
Thank you.
All right, 12. We've got no 6-6 teams in. We can read that out. All right. 7-5s. Denver is your lone division winner. I think this is going to play out very similar to 13.
I think so.
We have Minnesota, Sin City, Bossier, Denver, and Fort Worth. Tyler, you could probably just copy and paste that 8 through 12. We'll double check it. Minnesota is the first team on SOV. That is correct. And then Sin City is out on common games between Fort Worth, Bossier City, and Sin City. And then Fort Worth beats Bossier City in common games and then gets the head-to-head over Denver. That's all the same.
Except, but same coming.
Carolina.
Oh, wait.
Now, Carolina is the 5 as the division winner.
Wait, Cam.
Yeah.
When it goes to Fort Worth, Bossier
It
beat
doesn't. We
Fort
get
Worth.
eliminated. We get eliminated before that.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard Sin City out first.
But Sin City's gone. And if you do, Denver's not included in that 3. It's not a threesome with Denver.
No, you're okay. So
Head to head.
Hunter, you're right. So Bossier City beat
Yeah.
Fort Worth, right, Yogi?
Yes, we did.
Okay, so then Fort Worth should be the 10.
13 is also
13 is also wrong.
okay. Going back to, we'll go this one. So,
So Denver gets the protection, right? But then because Bossier City beat Fort Worth is the 10. So their win over Denver doesn't get to apply because Bossier City beat Fort Worth. And
Bossier
that-
City has common game over Denver. So
That
it's just
doesn't
a,
matter.
It's just a straight swap.
Yeah, but the common games win over Denver doesn't matter because Denver won the division.
Yeah.
So Denver's the 8, Bossier City's the 9, and Fort Worth is the 10 in both of those scenarios.
The only thing that can supersede a division winner is head to head.
Correct.
Right. Okay. So this is Bossier City head-to-head over Fort Worth.
Correct.
Oh, right.
So in this one, Bossier City goes to Denver.
Correct.
Correct? Yes.
In both 12 and 13.
Yes.
Or wait, no, in 13. Yeah, that's right.
Should be the same.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right.
All right. Good catch. All right. Carolina is your division winner. This is the same thing as 13. Carolina's the 5. Houston's the 6. Or I'm sorry, Albuquerque's the 6 and Houston is the 7. Carolina because of their division win, and Albuquerque their head-to-head over Houston. Fort Worth goes to Houston.
The South, the dirty South.
Head to head. Okay.
And then Mexico City won the division and the head-to-head over Vancouver. And Baltimore is on top again.
Yep.
4 to go, folks.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Scenario 11, the only difference, Hunter, is Minnesota over Sin City.
So, just Minnesota beats Sin City here.
Well, we got to check out the 6 and 6 on this one.
So Denver, to this point, they have clinched the playoffs.
Yep.
And Fort Worth has clinched the playoffs.
Correct.
It's just Sin City and Bossier who have not.
Yes, we each have a scenario where we can lose it. Yep.
All right, you could. Or let me do this real quick. Divisions.
Okay. Top 3, 6 and 6 teams. Sin City, Florida, and DC.
Same as scenario 3.
Can't be, because we won. We're not in it. We're in it in scenario 3. We're not in it in this one.
Okay.
I think this is unique.
Yeah,
plugging in the
it
count.
might be.
And I didn't know if this was another scenario where Florida or DC could sneak in.
Sin City, Florida, DC. Yeah, I'm not seeing that. CG Calc.
Yep.
One fewer game than required.
Yep.
Okay. So we go to SOV. That's DC 319. Oh boy. You know what that means? Florida over Sin City head to head.
Yep.
And Florida
Head-to-head.
has another scenario.
Second scenario.
Same as scenario 14, Ty.
It's a 14% chance so far.
Man. Okay. Denver, Bossier City, Fort Worth is the same as scenario 12, except it's for 9, 10, 11, not 8, 9, 10. Denver's your division winner, and Bossier City beat Fort Worth. So Fort Worth
Yep.
is the 11, Bossier's the 10, Denver's the 9.
Minnesota wins the division here.
That's
Oh. That's right. Okay, so Denver does not get the protection. Have we seen that?
I think it's unique. Well, plugging in the
Yeah.
Or do they get the protection and then our head-to-head win puts us ahead of Fort Worth?
Well,
no, there's no protection here. No division winners.
No.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
All right, so Fort
they're
Worth, Bossier
not.
City, and Denver in the calc. And Denver is the worst of the three on common games.
Then Bossier gets the head-to-head.
So Denver's the 11, and then Bossier's the 9 on head-to-head, and Fort Worth is the 10. Bossier was that close to a home game, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yep. Nah, it wasn't going to happen.
All right, then at 8 and 4, we've got the same scenario as. There's one of these down here. 14. Minnesota, Carolina, Albuquerque, Houston, 5 through 8.
That's Minnesota, Carolina.
Minnesota, Carolina, Albuquerque, Houston, 5 through 8.
That had Mexico City in the mix as well.
That's true. Scenario. Oh. Well, I think it's all the same. Common games for Minnesota over Carolina. And then Albuquerque beat Houston head-to-head.
Right.
Albuquerque over Houston head to head.
Yes.
Yes.
Division winner over non-division winner.
And they
Or
beat them
Mexico
head-to-head as well.
Head.
Head-to-head technically is the tie break there, but you could use either.
Right.
Okay. 2 more. Scenario 10. The only difference, Hunter, Albuquerque over Fort Worth. Florida needs a Bossier, Minnesota, and Fort Worth win. Currently. That's what they need. Bossier, Fort Worth, and Minnesota wins.
All right.
Mark asked, why is Bossier in scenario 4 highlighted in red? Because that is the only scenario in which Bossier would miss the playoffs currently. We've highlighted some oddities in green and red here.
Because it's Christmas.
All right, scenario
It's Christmas.
scenario 10. We've got Fort Worth, Sin City, and Florida. Have we seen that? That's 6 and
think
6.
so.
Fort Worth, Sin City, Florida. Yes, scenario 15.
We have.
Scenario 15 had Fort Worth, Sin City, Florida, and Florida was out on SOV. That is still true. And then Fort Worth Common Games over Sin. Okay.
Boozer, Denver, the division winner. No.
Correct. Oh, wait. No, incorrect. Denver does not have protection.
Bossier has common games.
Oh. Oh, okay. 9. I thought that made Bossier 8. I was gonna say, okay.
No.
That's interesting.
Still not.
Okay. Bossier City Common Games over Denver.
Carolina, Minnesota, Houston.
Where was that specific? Okay, never mind. All right. Houston is the only non-division winner at 8-4.
It's in scenario 15.
Who put that red line there? That was cool.
I put the wrong bar, but yeah, I'll do that there.
There you go.
Oh, but Mexico
Nice.
City was in that one.
So Houston is the 8 because they did not win the division. And then Minnesota, Carolina is Minnesota Common Games.
Yep.
Same as
Same as
scenario
scenario
2. $10 super chat from Shravan Prasad. Car. Need to blow off some steam? Call 1-800-CAR.
So the only two teams that, out of the top 12 for most of all scenarios that can get knocked out are Sin City and Bossier City.
Yeah.
Sin City has 2 circumstances where they could get knocked out, and Bossier has 1
Yeah.
scenario.
So the Houston, Mexico City, Vancouver's in scenario 3.
But Albuquerque's in the mix, Ray.
City and Albuquerque.
Yes, I see now.
Mexico
Sorry.
City. Or no.
Mexico City wins the division by beating Albuquerque head-to-head. Have we had an Albuquerque-Vancouver tie? I don't think so. Does that sound familiar to anybody?
It would go down to SOV, tied common game.
Yeah, sure would. Albuquerque is, or Vancouver is definitely worse. Not even close. So Albuquerque gets the bye, even though they don't win the division. Is that the first scenario in which 2 South teams get a bye? No, scenario 2 had it. Interesting. Okay, and then Albuquerque did not beat Mexico City, so there's nothing going on there. All right, last scenario. The only change, Hunter, is that Sin City beats Minnesota. I am curious. Here's how long it took us to do scenario shows in the past. Season 17, 2 hours and 41 minutes. Season 20, 2 hours and 25 minutes. Season 19, 1 hour and 40 minutes. Wow, what were we on that year? Season 22, 1 hour and 18 minutes. We only had 8 scenarios.
Yeah.
Season 23, that was last year, 1 hour, 51 minutes. We're at 1 hour and 57 minutes right now. Thanks, Hunter.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Hunter screwed us.
Tough crowd.
Of course.
Take your sheet
of
away,
course.
Hunter.
It's that damn Southern Division.
Hunter, without you, this would have gone so much faster. Way to go.
Oh my gosh. Take your sheet away, Hunter.
3, give me 2 seconds. Cost us.
Let's see. File. Delete.
Figure it out yourself, Cam.
So Hacker's not here for me to pick on, so you're gonna pick on Norwood.
Dude, if I didn't
Smart.
have this sheet,
Smart.
you just wouldn't get a scenario show. You would know when the final standings were done. That's what would
We'll
happen.
let you know after the last game. Yeah.
That's right.
We good to go, Hunter?
Yes.
Okay.
If you're out there in UFL land, that's exactly what's going to be happening to you. Just telling you. Unless I got this sheet. All right, here we go. 1, 6, and 6 makes it. Oh, look at Queen City. What? Is Queen City's in the mix? Could they do it? Fort Worth, Florida, Queen City. In the CG calc.
Wow.
No way, right?
No.
Wouldn't that be something on the very last one? Fort Worth, Florida, Queen City. Oh!
Not
Oh!
enough. Are you kidding me?
They needed one more, and they would have won it.
Oh wow.
But they didn't play Florida or Fort Worth, and they're out on SOV. Ah! They just needed one more game.
Pain.
Damn schedule makers.
And
You
Fort
playing
Worth over
Google?
Florida and head-to-head.
Yeah, Fort
Damn
Worth beat
Google.
Florida. So Fort Worth gets the 12. Holy smokes.
Wow.
And the Toros survive. The Toros are in, right?
Yeah, they're in.
Yep.
Every
Toros
scenario.
are in. The Nightwings are in.
Yep.
Out of that bottom 4, right? So Fort Worth and Denver have clinched.
Minnesota's in.
Yep. Yep.
The only 2 teams, I think, like I said, is Sin City and
Yep.
Bossier City can get knocked out. That's it. Otherwise, it's set.
All right. Denver gets the protection at the 8, and they don't have to contend with Fort Worth because Fort Worth's down to 12. So Denver's the 8 as a division winner. And then we've got Sin City, Bossier City, Minnesota. I don't think we've seen that.
I don't think we have.
Sin City, Bossier City, Minnesota.
The calculator.
Nothing.
SOV.
Nothing.
SOV
Nothing.
goes to Minnesota's the worst. So Minnesota's the 11, then Bossier City, Sin City. Now I think we've seen that before.
SOV again.
Yeah, because
Yep.
we're tied 4 and 3.
I SOS Sin City.
SOS. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, that's the wild one.
Yep.
And this time it's .007.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, they go
7.
another decimal place. Dude. There's the thousands.
And let me
Carolina.
guess, we're going to Houston again.
Bossier City goes to
Carolina.
Houston in 1, 2, 3,
3, 4 now.
Ugh.
4.
We got a couple Vancouvers, 3 Vancouvers, 2 Mexico Cities, a Denver, a Carolina. There's all kind of possibilities.
Mexico,
It's
Albuquerque.
it's all there. All right, so here are the takeaways from me from tonight, and then I'll let everybody on the panel say something interesting.
We gotta
The-
get the rest of this thing, or is it already
Yeah.
confirmed with the last
Not
one?
done.
what?
Oh, it's in
Yes.
scenario 10.
Oh,
10.
my bad. Yeah, I was just ready to be finished. Okay, so here's my takeaways. Washington has a path to the number 1, but they need Arizona, Albuquerque, and Sin City to win. Florida has an opportunity to make the playoffs. They need Bossier City, Fort Worth, Minnesota to win. DC is the team hanging on by a thread, and Bossier City is almost in. DC needs 4 things to happen: Houston, Mexico City, Fort Worth, and Sin City to win. And the Dragons would get a date at Vancouver in the first round of that 12-5. That's what I'm looking at. What do you see, Ray?
Basically, what you summed everything up for us, I think.
Okay. Tyler, anything else that sticks out to you that's compelling?
I want the chaos engine. I want a scenario where it all comes down to the Monday Night Spectacular, and you have to come down between Sin City and Minnesota. That's going to be extremely. I'm excited to just be in the halftime and post booth for that. That one looks fun.
All right, Hunter, what you think?
A lack of Scorpions. So what I can take away is Albuquerque to the division title. Or Houston.
You don't think it's going to be Mexico City because you're going to win?
Exactly.
And then Yogi, you guys aren't in just quite yet, but what sticks out about the race?
That Florida has 2 ways to get in and knock Sin City out, and I don't think anybody in a tournament wants to see Florida at any time.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And that would be at Minnesota it'd be at Minnesota in both of those scenarios. Right, another thing to think about too is that Minnesota can be the 5 or the 12.
Right. Anywhere in between.
That's right. And really the chaos engine behind that for them is Bossier City winning. But even if Houston wins, Minnesota could be as low as the 11. And it looks like as high as the 5 as well. So I think Minnesota has the biggest variance here. Denver is back in the playoffs. That's a big deal.
Yes, it is.
The Nightwings are in. And Fort Worth does not have to sweat beating Albuquerque to make the playoffs. And I think Fort Worth, even if they got to go on the road, they got some good draws. They got some, matchup with Carolina. Of course, they don't want to go to Albuquerque. That would be a total nightmare scenario for them. But, Houston, a lot of teams that Fort Worth's very familiar with. I think they would be just fine on the road. But I don't think anybody wants to have to go to Albuquerque, especially in the first round.
And 5 of the 12 are from potentially from.
And if Albuquerque gets a bye in the first round, they need to go to Albuquerque after that. Oh gosh.
Yeah. So what you just said, Yogi, no division has ever had all 5 teams make it, and unless scenario 4 hits, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So that would be a first as well. Yeah. Vice Wars in an 8-9 game would be would be pretty insane. Yeah, there's a lot of and Carolina was so close to a bye, they did not get that, so we know Carolina. No. Carolina's going to be at home no matter what, I think, next week.
Yes, confirmed.
Yes.
Lowest they have is an 8th seed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So Carolina's got a home game wrapped up. I think the Central winner wraps up a home game, but we just don't know who that is, and that will come down to Monday. And so Monday, regardless, that's why we put it on Monday. We're professionals around here. That determines who ends up with a home game and who doesn't, regardless of what happens the rest of the week. And who knows? Depending upon how things fall, if Bossier City pulls the upset and Fort Worth pulls the upset, all of a sudden, Sin City is playing for their lives on Monday night. So,
yeah.
Whew, should be a good one. Anything else? All right. We're outie. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I will summarize this in Discord, and we will see you tomorrow as we begin the final descent of the Season 24 regular season.